Okay, my name is Pete Gazzaro. This is Robert Leo. And we're going to demonstrate why we believe that this item is the most strong product of the industrial age. I'm going to start by the product design. The design on this product is to be installed by anyone. It's designed to support a motorized fan spinning over a person's head. It's a 120 volt enclosure, and it's designed to be installed without knowing if it's installed according to directions. The product is, this is the Rayco 936XL, commercial electric product, CMB 150-OB, and the Westinghouse product 01100. And UL has approved all these things for use in the electrical industry. This Westinghouse product's got these feet on there. And again, you've got to be perfectly in the wood in order to get it there. You've got to be center here, center there. The Rayco products, it's got these little dimples. It's 3/16 of an inch high. That means that you have to get this in here from this 4-inch hole. I can't. It's really difficult. You have to make sure there's no knots or nothing else in there. You got to turn this in, and it's got to be perfect in order to get these in. It wouldn't make any difference because 3/16 of an inch dimples going into wood should not be approved. It's not NEC compliant. When you're putting up ceiling light fixtures and the outlets in the ceiling, drywall screws aren't approved, and you can be any length. Drywall screws are only approved for drywall. To put in a box, electrical box, to secure it to any wood joist or whatever, you need 1-inch wood screws. That's a minimum. 1 inch, 1 1/4 inch. On this here case, this is not even NEC compliant because there's no holes to drill to put the screws through. And it's not even designed for that. It's only designed to put up to this little hole and to squeeze it in. This is only reminiscent of a doorway pull-up bar. You know those pull-up bars that you put up? That's what this thing does. And it's okay to use it for athletics outside, but not for an 120 volt outlet over your head supporting a ceiling fan. Now, I'm going to say these are the 2 code books I got right here. They both say the same thing about mounting and securely mounting any electrical enclosure to the structure. Mounting of electrical equipment shall be firmly secured to the surface on which it is mounted. It's Article 110.13. It's at the beginning of the book. It's one of the basic principles of electrical work installations. Okay, under Article 314.23, and there's a lot of different things in here, but briefly I'll give you a couple of things. It says enclosures within the scope of this article shall be supported in accordance with one or more of the provisions. Surface mounting shall be rigidly and securely fastened in place. Structural mounting. Down here under B, structural mounting, it says nails and screws. For this purpose of installing a motorized blade fan over a person's head, it has to be the screws, it needs to be screws. That's got to be the minimum. Else they wouldn't have put it there. Okay, again, under 314.23, under C, it says mounting and finished surface, an enclosure mounted in a finished surface shall be rigidly secured thereto by clamps, anchors, fittings identified for the application. For this application of securing a ceiling fan, outlet to holding a ceiling fan, those anchors have to be screws. That's it. Okay, what I read you just now, I took it out of the NEC 2008 code book, but this to show you that's one of the ABCs of electrical work is the enclosure's got to be securely mounted. So if you looked at it in the 220 book, it's the same thing. It's been the same thing for a long time. These articles have been from the beginning of electrical. It's always got to be secured, rigidly secured and fastened to the structure. That's a minimum standard requirement. That's why we can walk away after doing an installation according to this books. We can walk away and say, that product will stay there for 1,000 years. Unless somebody physically disassembles it, it's not going to come apart. Okay, all these products here say the same thing about meeting National Electrical Code requirements. The Rayco box says meets NEC ceiling fan mounting requirements. And commercial electric in the package, it says meets or exceeds the requirements of the National Electrical Code. And Westinghouse was a little bit braver. They just say exceeds the requirements of the National Electrical Code, and they actually put a section 422/18. Okay. That's impossible because all these products are still in the box on a shelf in a store. They can't meet the requirements of the installation because they're not installed. So that's just wrong. Rayco contradicts its own statement. It says meets NEC ceiling fan mounting requirements. Well, the requirements of the ceiling fan mounting, how is that possible when you still put all this stuff? It's not possible to meet the requirements of the National Electrical Code because the National Electrical Code doesn't say anything about what the requirements are of it being in a store on a shelf. Okay, at the beginning of the book, it says under scope, Article 90.2 scope, covered. This code covers the installation and removal of electrical conductors, equipment, and raceways, signaling, communications conductors, equipment, and raceways. This covers the installation of electrical equipment and conductors. So as far as the installation meets requirements, like I said, that's impossible because it cannot be, it can't pass code, it can't meet the requirements if it's not installed. So, second of all, they actually go beyond, and they says, this one says, on Rayco, remove existing ceiling fixture, outlet box, support bar, not intended. Okay, first of all, once you take out the approved outlet, you have to take out an electrical permit, and you have to be inspected. Even if it's an electrician, according to the code, according to the inspectors, you can't do anything with 120 volts unless you have a permit. We do a lot of that with switches and plugs and lights and stuff like that. But this, especially this is so difficult. This needs an electrical permit to put it in. But it says here, remove it. This one here, on commercial electrical, in the instructions it says, if a fixture is present, remove the existing fixture, outlet box, and a support bar. You cannot do that without a permit. You're working exactly against what the hell you're supposed to do. And again, this one says the same thing. Almost said the same thing. Remove the box. When you're talking about a 120 volt box that's been approved, if you're going to take it out and put in another one, it needs to be permanent. You can ask your insurance investigator about that. Yes. So according to information, again, there's another wrong thing about the packet's information and in directions. Okay, there's a couple of funny things here. On the Rayco instructions, right on the box, it says, warning turn off power. It says, before that, it says, caution, use care in installation to avoid knots in the wood, truss plates, trusses, as well as electrical wires, plumbing, heating ducts, and gas lines. My, how do you know that when you buy the box? You have to open up the ceiling. How are you going to avoid all those things? You can't see it, especially if the fixture's still up. You have to take the fixture out, take the box out, and then you can start seeing it. If you can see it in a 4-inch hole. Or you have to go in the attic and check it out. Then it says, warning, turn off power at circuit breaker, remove fuse. Okay, that's okay. It says, number 2, remove existing ceiling fixture, outlet box, and support bar, not intended to replace bracket mounted ceiling outlet boxes. Okay, you just see what kind of trouble we had to do to remove this hang bar. It can't be done. Not from a 4-inch hole. You have to open up the ceiling and do it, and you got to take out a permit. That's all. It's the only way you can do this. It says, remove existing ceiling fixture, outlet box, and support bar. And then it says, not intended to replace bracket mounted ceiling outlet boxes. Well, if it says one thing and then it says, don't do it. It says right, I read it so many times, I can't understand. It says it, remove it, and then it says, not intended to do it. So, I don't know who writes this stuff. says, on the box, it says, exceeds the requirements of the National Electrical Code Section 422-18. Okay, so we looked this up. Article 422.18, support of ceiling suspended paddle fans. Ceiling suspended paddle fans shall be supported independently of an outlet box or by one of the following. And I've read this thing 12 times, and I don't think this applies to this situation at all. I'm going to have Robert go to Starbucks and see if he can use it as a pickup line, because it doesn't work over here. I don't understand it. You can read it yourself. How does that apply to this outlet? It says, you can do it yourself. So, when we did our demonstration, I'm going to do it right here. What happens is that they say on this box, they say fast, easy, simple steps. It's a really easy installation from a 4-inch hole. All these packages say the same thing. And they say remove the hanger bar. This is the box and the hanger bar you're talking about. They make different brands, but they all be about the same thing. These hanger bars are put into code when they're approved by the inspector, and they're not just hanging in there. They're either put in by nails or screws. Most of the time they put in nails. When I first started doing this many years ago, when we first started hanger bars, we would use an 8-penny nail because my boss was too cheap to buy nails. So we just pick up nails from the carpenters and put these in with an 8-penny nails. This is a 4-inch hole, this here. They say to remove the box, remove the hang bar. Well, what we did is, or we're going to show you right now, is to remove this, you can take this box out with a screwdriver and stuff. So, if you take the box out, you still got the wires to deal with, right? Now you gotta follow me in this. I'm gonna take this out. And I gotta show you just how difficult it is. If you are doing these wires in there, like I said, there's probably gonna be more than one wire. Not all the time, but most common is this. So you're gonna take this out. They show guys using power tools and stuff. Don't take out any box. Don't do this at all anyways. But if you're gonna take out a box, you're not gonna take it out with a power tool because one of these wires is live. 2 of them are. One straight. So you're gonna take this out from a 4-inch hole. Any electrician looking at this, you've gotta buy one of these boxes, or at least show, I could at least watch what's going on here. This is amazing how these people put fast, easy installation. There's nothing easy about it. But you gotta do this, do that. But you still gotta get this hanger bar up, because this bracket, this box, the teeth have gotta go there. They have to go right there. Well, that's where the little clip is. And this is a small one. Some of the times they're bigger. This won't go into the wood unless this is removed. You can't get that out of the 4-inch hole. If it's a nail or a screw, even if you go in the attic, it is super difficult. So, cut this. So what we're going to do is going to show you what you have to do. On a 4-inch hole, you got to cut this. And this is the only power. Without the wires, you move the wires out of the way, you're going to have to cut it with a sawzall. Now remember, he's doing it just the way. That's too noisy for you. Okay. So there you go. Now you're still in the 4-inch hole, and you have to put these up out of the way. Like I said, I've seen some videos of you. They said they just push them up and fall out. They don't come out. This is approved. This has been approved by a jurisdiction, by an inspector. It's not going to come out easy. I know, I used to install them. I still do. You put those out like that. Then you've got to get this in here and do this whole thing. There's nothing easy about this. Whoever wrote that stuff on those boxes has no idea what they're talking about. They've never done it. In fact, the guy who invented it, I don't think he's done it. Because it cannot be done. You have to, they say without attic access. Without attic access, you can't get that clip. You can't get a clip out anyway. The only way to get these things in the approved way, is you have to cut out the ceiling. That's the only way. You have to cut out the ceiling. You have to show the... Now, I want to be UL for a minute. I'm going to be under Red's Laboratory. If I'm under Red's Laboratory, this is the only way I'm going to approve this product. Warning, this product needs to be installed by a qualified person, a licensed electrician, and approved by the authority having jurisdiction by the electrical inspector. Do not attempt to install this product without proper electrical and training. This is 120 volt AC voltage. Contact your building insurance provider. This product shall be securely fastened to the structure with a minimum 1 inch by 10 wood screws at either end of the support bar, which is here. Either side over here, it needs to be supported. Wiring shall be connected in the workbox with proper connectors. Inspection shall be at open wall and fixture finish, final fixture finish. Okay? You need to have this thing inspected by the authority having jurisdiction, which is the electrical inspector. You need to take a permit. You need to have it inspected on the rough wiring so they can see the wiring, the connectors and the wiring inside. They can see the secure installation. And then after it's all done, the drywall and everything finished and the fixture, you need to have another inspection to show the final. If I'm UL, this is what I'm going to put on the package. And this is the only way it's going to work. So it gets really expensive and it's ridiculous. So me and Robert made something else. Okay, instead of going through all that rigmarole, me and Robert does the fixture support systems. We have the Easy Brace 200, and you can leave the bracket, leave the box there, everything going. And what it is, this little kit, everything comes in the box. We have everything. So from the bottom, you drill up a hole, you give it a drill bit. Go in the attic if there's an attic. And you stick this on the top, and then you put a couple of staples, put a nut in there, a couple of staples. That's it. Look it up on the website, and you'll see the rest of it. It's that simple. Do not move the electrical 120 volts. Leave it alone. Unless you're a qualified person, you're not supposed to be screwing with 120 volts. Our Easy Brace 200 is for 1 minute attic. It's a hanger bar. Instead of taking that, trying to get that hanger bar, just leave it alone, drill a hole through it, that's it. Look at our instructions on the Easy Brace 200. Okay, that was our 200. This is Easy Brace 101. Again, leave the box alone, leave the 120 volts alone, don't touch the wires. And this goes in just like this. We give you the screws and everything. This is the 101, and it will slide inside the box. And just about any plastic box it'll slide into. Just move the wires away, put the slide that bracket in. You can see full instructions on the, but it's that easy. It's just simple. It slides in the box, put the bracket, and you can put your fixture bracket on there and go from there. Okay? That's the Easy 101. That's it. So. All right, the reason he wants you to need a permit is because this will happen. I got a call for a customer in Long Beach. He wanted to add a switch on his blade fan. He just moved into his house 3 years ago, and the blade fan was already there. This fan, just like this, a blade fan. We built this little thing for demonstration. But the fan was like this, and it's over a bed. I looked up in the attic, and this is the way it is. See, these things will only fit at least 16 inches on center. It says it on there. But the guy who bought it, or whatever, I don't know who it was. My customer doesn't know. It was on before he even bought the house. It's less than 16 inches on center. Maybe it was 14 or 15. It just wouldn't fit. So the guy was already in the middle of a job. It was a new outlet, and he did this. Now my customer bought the house. He's been living in it for 3 years. This blade fan, it was an older one, so it was heavy. It was supported only by the drywall because it didn't fit. So if you have a house, and this is very common, this is not uncommon to have less than 16 inches on center. When the guy's framing, a framer is framing the house, for one reason or another, they might have it less than 14 on center or whatever. Most of the time it's 16, but it's not always. It's not uncommon. So because this wouldn't fit in 16 on center, this is exactly the way I found it. It's a new wire. There was one new wire coming in it and was over there, it was hung. This is exactly it. I just looked up in the attic, just looked over. This is over the guy's bed for 3 years. See, if this box was not existing, if it didn't exist, any other metal box would have been supported by the joist. Anything else would have been better than this. But because this exists and it doesn't fit, this is the level of danger. Now, if you have your house, if you have a blade fan that is less, and it's mounted at less than 16 inches on center, I believe that you have a serious problem. You'll have to check it yourself. Okay, that's good. This was in my home. It had existing 1/2-inch steel flex, and as you can see, this is some. He never made the flex lines go back into the box because I can't even understand how we got that far. You guys who work with 1/2-inch steel flex, you know how difficult it is. Anyways, this is the second installation I checked out. This was in my house. I just removed this whole thing and I put it in my own box and put my own easy brace in and hung a new fan. I just wasn't going to have it. That's as close to, you can see that's not too bad. Although the first one in Long Beach was absolutely the most dangerous. Now I've told you I saved the best for last, okay? This is the Westinghouse model 01100 ceiling fan. This is instructions in the package. This is the Westinghouse one. It says, listed for fan support and exceeds the requirements of the National Electrical Code for fines weighing up to 70 pounds versus stuff. It says installation instructions, turn off electrical power at breaker. Then it says if there's no hole, cut a hole, whatever. It says if no electricity is available, a swag kit or wire cover may be used. This is a swag kit. Do not do this. It's not approved for anything. This is what they use on. Do not put this in at all. This is not approved. You cannot run a 120 volt wire to a fixed outlet. It must be installed in a raceway and secured and everything else. This is not approved. Not only did they write it, they put it in Spanish in the back. I had to circle it because I had to read it so many times. I couldn't believe somebody would write that. Westinghouse owes us all a favor. We have to know who wrote this on here, because if he recommends clam chowder soup, you gotta order the salad. And they wrote on their instructions, model 01100, this one here. Is there no hole where you want to hang the fan? Cut a hole in sheetrock using electrical rocks provided as a template. If no electricity is available, a swag kit or wire cover may be used. This is a swag kit. You cannot use that. You can't use it in any 110 volt. This is only for a portable thing. This is, can you imagine the danger that this is hanging in? Westinghouse guy who wrote this is on here, on the instructions. I'm not kidding. They even have it in Spanish. Look, you cannot use a swag kit for any 120 volt installation. It's not approved at all. It's just for a portable lamp. To write it on here for this is far beyond the most wrong statement I've ever heard in anything. And it says on the box, exceeds the requirements of the National Electrical Code. And UL approved it. So how many other wrongs are there? UL approved everything here, but they approved this with this statement. Okay. All of these signs and everything about this says no attic work needed, fast, easy, do-it-yourself installation, all necessary hardware. It says for modeling, superior mounting safety. This one here says fast, easy, support, whatever it is, easy, hardware. Look at, as far as this here, there's nothing easy about it. There's a level of difficulty is the only thing you can measure. All right, what's easy in electrical work? 49 years. Changing a switch plate is easy. Changing a plug plate is easy. Changing a switch is easy. Changing a wall plug, all the other stuff. Once you get on the ladder, it starts to do a difficulty. The ceiling fans that they make up now, it's super easy to put together and put up. Even though there's a lot of parts, it's not that complicated. They know how to do it. So whatever you, just remove this out of the box in this house. I can't tell you how difficult it is unless you try to do it. I only briefly showed you. And me and Robert went nuts trying to do these things. According to the instructions, you just don't want to fool it. It's just such a difficult product to put together. It doesn't, you can't measure this in easy. It's only measured in how difficult it is, and it's super difficult. Look, If you want me as electrician to install this, I'll surely install it for the money that you don't want to pay me. And you have to open up the ceiling anyway. I would have to, as an electrician, I want to take out an electrical permit and do this according to code and have the inspector pass it. Because even if I put it in without a permit, I don't like to walk away from stuff like this. I don't know if it's going to last. So I'd like to at least have the inspector look at it. But forget about all that. You see my Easy Braces, just check out this website for Easy Braces. It takes care of everything. Again, let's go ahead with the challenge. What I'm saying is that most wrong product of industrial age, and this has got, because of the patent, the time, the danger, the product age, the provider, everything about this, it's the most wrong product of industrial age, and everybody's going to say, no, it's not, because of cigarettes. So let's take a look at cigarettes. On all these products, it says meets NEC requirements, meets or exceeds NEC requirements. The box of cigarettes never said the Surgeon General approves this is for health. That's number one. Number two, cigarettes. The difficulty in installing that is terrible. The difficulty in smoking a cigarette is this. Okay, that's really terrible. But the difficulty is not there. This is much more difficult, and that didn't say anything about meets, exceeds a Surgeon General, so right now you can get that out. The only other thing you can talk about is asbestos. We're going to look at something wide open. That's why I went from residential electrical danger all the way to most industrial age. That's it. So asbestos, I don't know. It's a mineral. You got to say, I got to see what mineral did it attach to and how easy or hard it was to put it in. And that causes a lot of problems and health problems. So anyways, that's that. I'm going to do one more thing. Okay, this is a typical wiring diagram. In your house, you'll see the little squiggly lines there is for the wires, and these little circles here is a legend. That's a light. The S is a switch, and the other thing's a plug. But this is the wire. So this is a typical wiring diagram. The wire comes from the meter panel, and it goes to the first light. Then they loop across the light to light, and then they loop a wire down. So if you were to change a box in your ceiling in your bedrooms, most likely you're going to have 3 to 4 wires in each fixture. So the part about them giving you one knockout, one Romex connector, and saying that that's going to work, it's not going to work. This is a typical wiring diagram. They go from meter to light to light to light to light, and it ends up with the last light on the other side of the house. That's pretty standard. Not every time, but it's pretty standard. So most likely you're going to find, if you take out your light fixture, there's not going to be one wire up there. There's going to be maybe 3 or more. And to get those out of that box, that existing box, and put it in the new box is just so difficult. That's the one reason I would have never bought one of these things. The only reason we found out about it is we bought it just to test it. Because that's a big job. Difficult. Under the product parts, they give you like this one little connector in the package. But if you have, they tell you to remove it. Don't remove the box. Like I said, do not touch the 120 volts. But according to them, you can do it. And what's going to happen is if you look at your part, if your bracket, somebody already installed it, what's going to happen, you're going to look in the ceiling, and you might have that one wire in there. But you're going to have, because this is all they supplied, you're going to have this. This is not approved. These need to have connectors on all the wires. So this may be another violation. If you look up in your ceiling or open up the one that's there, I'm going to say most of the time this is going to happen. You're going to have wires without no connectors because they did not supply the parts that you need. Okay, as part of the product age, these I researched, we Googled all these patents on the patent. So in the United States patent, these patents on this product is different ages. They start somewhere in the mid-'80s and they run into all the way 2003 or more. But this product, I'm saying the product age is somewhere around 25, 30 years. I seen the one that's exactly like one we got, what we have, and then I haven't found it again. Exactly what one of the ones we showed. This guy Jack Kerr, he's from College Station, Texas, and he filed all these patents. There's a few different guys here, and the first one was filed at 1989, exactly like we already have there. So you can check out the patent and just find out when the applications. These are applications, I don't know when it actually started being sold, but I would say that somewhere around 25, 30 years. Because once you file a patent, you just got to make it and start selling it. I don't know when the first one was sold. But these are the patents that I looked up. So once again, we have most wrong product of the industrial age. I'm talking product design, the package information and directions on the package, the difficulty of installation, the provided parts, the level of danger is way up, and the product age. So, okay, in their testing, UL 731A, UL E464668, UL 85E3. You tested all these products, and you know it and I know it, you failed. They all failed. They're all Fs. This failed, your testing failed on every one of these products. They should never have been approved. They should never even been out in the store. They shouldn't be there at all. And I'm saying this now, and I tried this. I started this last year. I sent out letters all over the place to all kinds of people. This is my 4th attempt at getting these products off the market. UL, you have failed miserably in your testing. On every level you failed. This is a dangerous product. It's been there forever. These are just those 3. I don't know how many other times you tested it. Now you will always be remembered as the unreliable underwriter's laboratory, which is the WLF. It's a cool name. I remember McMahon's got that from his wrestling. You people want to take a picture of your problem and send it to Underwriters Laboratory, Inc. They got an address in Northbrook, Illinois. This address is no longer there. We actually went there because I wanted to talk to them and show them what they got, but they've closed down, and I'm not going to go any further. It only took me about 30 or 40 minutes to drive there because I don't live too far from there. Address everything to Jennifer F. Scanlon. I think she's the CEO. And you could tell her, you can show her this, is that she failed. All these guys failed. And she got a lot of work to do. But we actually will help out, and we are going to help out with employment. So, okay, because we're nice guys, we actually wrote the ad for you. You can stick this on Craigslist. It says, help wanted, electrician needed. Must have basic knowledge of the National Electrical Code Book and Articles 110.12, 110.13. On-job experience of adults should be at least 2 years, so the minimum age applicant should be at least 20 years old. And we're giving you a starting contract salary of 3 years, $1.5 million. That's $500,000 a year. Separate equally, and it will include a $76,000 signing bonus, company electric card, 4 weeks paid vacation, full medical, a 20 by 3-person staff, and contact WLF for applications, online, phone, text, drive-in. Doesn't make any difference. Get an application and apply, and they are an equal opportunity employer. You can stick this on Craigslist or any place, and I'm sure you're going to get at least 3 to 5 applicants that are qualified. Yeah, you should get a lot more. Now you can change just a little bit. You might have to change the signing bonus, but I think this will get you the qualification. You have 12,000 employees in UL, and not one of them is an electrician. This will save you a lot of problems by having somebody who is qualified to approve something for the electrical industry. And we're such nice guys that we're even going to show you a short interview for your applicant. Now, it says here, your previous work experience before being an electrician was a driving instructor?
Driving instructor. I was a driving instructor.
And where are you from, Mr. Conhead?
It's Conehead, and I'm from Meepsor.
Okay, all right, Mr. Conehead, if I was to give you this box, and you were to judge it for use in the electrical industry and according to National Electrical Code, how would you rate it? No. Well, Mr. Conrad, I believe you are what we want. Welcome aboard. Congratulations. Okay, in lieu of 11 grand slams of the Dodgers, we can see you can make them up yourself with a crayon and change this to, we got this. Now, you're no more them bums, and the Bronx Bombers don't have the name no more. After 11 grand slams in 2021 are now the LA Bombers. Okay, and so, just to make sure that you can switch to Turners, we have our own Turner shirt. Okay, that's good.
Good.
That's it. What do you think? Come on, okay?